Hey everybody, Glenn here with another grade reveal video. Today we're going to be going through a set of cards that I sent in. And I actually did, sorry about the focus here. My camera likes to skits out sometimes on me. There we go. So these are cards that I kind of pre-graded before I sent them in, similar to the series of videos that I had done. Again, just trying to learn how to grade for CSG. So we're going to go through these one by one. I have a mix of vintage and junk wax and modern cards. So you'll see, just where there's room for me to grow from a pre-grading perspective. And like I said, hopefully this will help you guys as well as you watch these videos. Identify some things that will help you along the way. So the first card that I got here was a 1954 Bowman Harry, or often referred to as Chick Jagade. And in this particular card, I thought it would get a 6. I pre-graded it as an 8 on centering, a 7 on corners, a 5.5 on edges, and a 6 on surface. So the 5.5 and the 6 here were kind of what was driving the grade. And unfortunately, this card came back a CSG 3. And when I looked at this card, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So if we look at what I thought, you can see that I thought it would get an 8 on centering. I got an 8.5, so I was a little undergrading on that. The corners I thought would get a 7. It got a 7. Edges, you'll see a trend here on vintage cards specifically. I need to pay a lot more attention on edges and really kind of hone in what is going on there. So I thought it would get a 5.5. I got a 7.5. But then the thing that really killed this card is surface. And I struggled with this because I knew there was some issues with surface, but I did not believe it would be enough to get a 2.5. So I'm actually, I would like people to kind of watch this video, and those that do, maybe leave in the comments what you think caused this card to get a 2.5 on surface, because I know what it is now. I figured it out, but I missed it initially. So I'm curious to see if you guys can pick it out. So I'm just going to kind of scan up through here. Now I will tell you that you can see the defect just by me doing this. You don't have to see it in any kind of special light or in any special angle. So I'm not trying to play any kind of trick on you. So that's the front, and then this is the back of the card. So we'll go ahead and let it zoom in there on the top. So I'm curious, if you see this on the channel, please leave a comment letting me know what you think caused this to get the grade it got. Now, I will say that the reason I scored this as 6 was because of this wax staining here on the back. And in my experience grading vintage cards with CSG, I've noticed that any kind of wax staining on the back or wax staining on the front, really, they are very, very critical of. So I gave this a 6 based on similar cards that I had graded based on that wax staining on the back. But there is something about this card that you could see in those quick scans that I went through that justify this getting a 2.5 that I missed when I sent it in. And again, it's another one of those lessons to learn. I will tell you that had I compared this card to another 1954 card prior to my evaluation, I would have definitely caught what caused this to get a 2.5, but because I didn't, I completely missed it. So again, please, if you're watching the video, leave in the comments why you think this got it. Obviously, when someone gets it right in the comment, I will confirm through the comments that that is in fact why this got the grade it got. But I will say it is justified. Based on their criteria, the 2.5 is an accurate grade. So as much as it pains me to say that, I clearly missed what I should have caught, and as a result I ended up getting a far worse grade. I obviously would have never sent that in thinking I was going to get a grade like that. Okay, so my next card here is a 1951 Bowman Dub Jones. I had this pre-graded out at a 5.5. I thought it would get a 9 on centering, a 6.5 on surface or corners, a 5.5 on edges, and a 5.5 on surface. Now, it ended up getting a near mint 7, which obviously I'm excited with, a grade and a half higher than I anticipated. You can see centering actually got a 9.5 where I had only given it a 9. So it seems like I'm grading a little bit harder on centering than I should be. That's 2 in a row now that I'm a half grade low. Corners, I was only off by a half grade. So I spot on the last one, only off by a half grade on this one. So, and again on edges, I was a full grade and a half off. So like I said, I obviously need to get my edges down. And then on this one, I actually graded the surface at a 5.5 and ended up grading out at a 6.5. Now, what I learned from this is the reason I thought this would get a lower grade on the surface was if you look kind of up through here through this green, I thought like that rubbing or color loss there. I actually have another graded card like this that does not have that on it. So I thought that that would cause this to take a little bit more of a hit on surface than it actually ended up taking. So again, lesson learned. You know, maybe they're not as strict on that as I had previously anticipated. And I ended up getting a higher grade than I expected to get on this. So overall, I'm extremely satisfied with the 7. Not 100% satisfied with my pre-grade being another grade and a half off from, you know, what I anticipated it getting to what I actually got. But again, it was mostly driven by edges and then that surface expectation. So it's kind of funny to me. On this one, I compared it to another card and I saw something that made me think it would get lower than what it actually ended up getting. And on the previous card, I didn't compare, and had I would have prevented myself from getting a really low grade. So, again, learning. So the next card I have here is a 1951 Bowman Tony Adamley. I thought this would get a 5.5. I gave it a 9 on centering, a 5.5 on corners, a 5.5 on edges, and a 6.5 on surface. And again, I was way the hell off on edges and surface. So I gave it a 9 on centering. It got an 8.5. So this time I was a half a grade high, but 3 cards in a row I've only been half a grade off on all 3. Corners, I gave it a 6. I got a 5.5. So again, 3 cards and only half grade difference on all 3. This time I gave it a 5.5 on edges and they gave it a 7.5. So I've been off by a grade and a half to 2 full grades on edges. So I really need to study up on my edges and figure out why I'm overgrading the edges so much. Or undergrading, however you want to phrase it. To me, I guess I'm being overly critical of the edges, let's put it that way. And then in this case, I thought the surface would get a 6.5 and it ended up getting an 8.5. So overall, I'm happy with that. I'm not 100% sure what I saw on this that made me think surface would get a 6.5. I put on here noticeable print spots, light wax staining on the front, and a very slight wax staining is allowed on the reverse. So those are the things that I had mentioned. So I must have thought I saw some wax staining on the back that maybe wasn't in fact there. Maybe it's even that little mark right there. I don't know if you can, that little mark above the A. Maybe I had, maybe that's actually just in the cardboard and I thought it was a wax stain. And then also on the front, on this particular one, I don't remember 100% what I thought it was that was going to cause that to get. I think it maybe was that like kind of discoloration there back in the sky that I thought was maybe not supposed to be there. But anyways, it ended up grading a lot better than I thought it would. So I'm happy with the 6.5. I got it, and overall I only ended up getting 1 grade higher than what I had anticipated getting. But I want to ultimately be a lot closer on the subgrades than I was on this particular one. So again, seems like I've got my corners and my centering down quite a bit, but edges and surface I'm still struggling with a little bit. Which oddly enough, the the surface I always know has been kind of a thing for CSG, but it seems like vintage I'm struggling with. I've got it down on modern, but vintage seems to continue to get me. So this next card here is a 1954 Bowman Warren Lahr. I graded it out at a 7.5 near mint with a 9 on centering, 8 on corners, 7 on edges, and 8.5 on surface. And this card came back a 8.5 on centering, so half grade different. 7.5 on corners, so half grade different. 7 to a 7.5 on edges, so only a half grade different. And then surface, I managed to get an 8.5, so I nailed it on this one. So this one I was really, really close on. So I think what this is telling me is I'm pretty good at the high grades, but then once I get down into the 5s and 6s, you know, I have a lot of work to do to dial in what the differences are. So overall, I'm happy with this. I expected a 7.5. I got a 7.5. Subgrades matched almost perfectly. So very happy with this card. This obviously, you know, for those of you that have been watching my videos know that I'm putting together a 50s Browns set. So you can see the trend here. I've got, you know, 4 vintage Browns cards, or 4 vintage cards here, and they're all 4 vintage Browns cards from the 50s. So very, very happy with that one. So next one up is my one junk wax entry. So this one is a 1990 Pro Set Emmitt Smith. I pre-graded it at a 9. I graded it as a 9 on centering, a 9.5 on corners, 9 on edges, and I actually gave it a 10 on surface. And what I ended up getting back was actually 9s across the board. So I was with, you know, spot on centering again, within a half grade on corners again, edges spot on, and I was a full grade off on centering, or on surface, I'm sorry, and I'm not 100% sure what I missed on the surface here that caused it to get a 9 instead of the 10. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of looking. I looked and I didn't really see anything, so I might end up having to scan this and taking a closer look to see if I can isolate what I missed. But overall, I thought it would get a 9. It ended up getting a 9. So overall, I'm satisfied with it. I knew it wasn't going to get a 9.5, but I was curious to kind of just get a feel for how well I was evaluating junk wax. And Pro Set is just, it's so hard to get good grades on Pro Set, especially because they're very prone to chipping and things like that. So anyways, there's an Emmitt Smith rookie card, CSG 9. Pretty close. And then these last 2 cards are actually from the new Wild Card Illumination set. So this is a Wild Card Illumination Zach Wilson, their comics insert. This is actually short print numbered 8 out of 25. I thought it would get a 9 mint. I thought it would get a 10 on centering, a 9 on corners, a 9 on edges, and a 9.5 on surface. And it ended up getting a 9.5 on centering, which was half grade different, an 8.5 on corners, which was half grade different, a 9 on edges, which is right on, and a 9.5 on surface, which is right on. So overall, within a half grade across the board. A little dissatisfied with the 8.5 on corners. I'm not 100% sure what I missed there. I do see this corner down here is a little jacked up, so I might have been a little friendly with that, or maybe it got dinged up in shipping or packaging. I'm not 100% sure. It actually looks like it might be peeling back a little bit there. So it's probably justified. But overall, I expected it to get a 9. It ended up getting a 9 within a half grade across the board, so I was satisfied with that. And these are pretty cool cards. I mean, you can tell it's obviously a blatant attempt to rip off the Kaboom concept, but it is what it is. It's a short print rookie QB. I didn't put a lot of money into it, one way or the other. So, and then this last card here is another one from Wild Card Illumination. It is a 2021 Wild Card Illumination Micah Parsons Hollow Lux Rookie Auto, numbered 49 out of 99. I anticipated this to get a 9.5 gem mint, 9 on centering, 9.5 on corners and edges, and a 10 on surface. And again, I missed the surface grade. So again, I'm going to have to go back and kind of look and see what happened here. So on centering, I was half grade off, corners I was right on, edges I was right on, and surface I was a full grade over. So they found something on the surface that they did not like that I missed. It's so hard on these Chrome cards, really. So overall, I mean, I anticipated it to get a 9.5. It did get a 9.5. Obviously, the reason I sent this in is, it was a short print. And, Micah Parsons is obviously Defensive Player of the Year this past year. This did end up getting a 9 on the auto, which I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, if I look at that auto, it's a sticker auto, obviously, but it's all there. I don't see any, super smearing or anything, so I just don't know if it's maybe the way this ink is here that caused it to get a 9 instead of a 9.5. Or, I'm sorry, a 10. But overall, I'm satisfied. Like I said, I don't have a lot of money in it. It's a, Defensive Player of the Year, 9.5. What I expected. So, fairly happy with it. So, there you have it, guys. Again, as I've mentioned in a lot of my other videos, I'm really trying to learn and have you guys learn along with me as I go through this process. So I think this is a good example of where, it seems like I've got ultra modern and modern down pretty good. But vintage, I still clearly have some work to do, especially when it comes to centering and edges. But overall, I'm getting pretty close on overall grades. This one got the grade I thought it would get. This got the grade I thought it would get. This got the grade I thought it would get. This one got the grade I thought it would get. This one I was off by a full grade. This one I was off by a grade and a half. And this one I was off by 3. So the vintage, I clearly still have some work to do. I'm going to get this camera to stop going. It's driving me absolutely crazy. You guys have probably noticed it on other videos. This camera is super, super touchy for whatever reason, and it drives me absolutely bonkers the way it zooms in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm not real sure why it does it. But anyways, the vintage I clearly got to work on. So overall, 7 cards. I was dead nuts on 4 of them, at least on overall grade, with a little bit of variation when it came to the subgrades. And then the 3 vintage cards, I was extremely good within a half grade on centering and corners on all 3, but missed it on surface and edges. So clearly I'm being way too critical on edges. And then, like I said, on surface, again, I think on this one I just need to understand, what that is, that little mark is on the back that I assumed was a wax stain. And maybe I can, again, take a scan of it and zoom in on that and see, or use the microscope and maybe see if I can see the difference between what's there and what's on, or what I thought was wax staining. This one, that little bit of discoloration, I docked it way too heavy for that. And then this one, again, like I said, please, just playing along. If you watch this video and you want to play along, pause the video right here and take a look at that surface. Flip it over. Pause the video again right here. Take a look at that surface. And tell me if you can figure out why this got a 2.5 on surface. Because you can see it. And if you pause it and you look at that, you'll see it. I just missed it. So if you enjoy the content, guys, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, give me a like, comment on the video, anything you can do to help bring more attention to the channel, I would appreciate it. And I will be back here shortly with a follow-up to the CSG Surface Killer thing that I did, where I sent in some top finest cards right after I peeled the label off. So that should be coming up here really soon. And then I've got a couple other videos that I've got in the queue. So thanks for watching. Give me a subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.